Ouvla low tech friends and your friends. Welcome back to Trekking the Future. As always, I'm Joshua Hadley, and about a third of the time he's Giggity Gopher, another third he's Tony Pepperoni. Right now though he's Lord Justin Belanger of the Principality of Sealand. Yeah, right. We did a thing. You know what I mean? And we're talking about Star Trek Strange New Worlds, the new episode that came out. We're finally caught up with everyone else. I mean, I guess we were last episode, but now we're back on Saturday. Maybe it all happens. And yeah, there's a lot to look forward to what we talk about today. I almost said tonight. I'm not. It's like it's just we're getting into September and it's getting pretty dark out here. I mentioned to Gopher Justin that yeah, I wasn't a big fan of my lighting situation because now I have to use the lights inside the house instead of just relying on natural lighting from the sun. We're getting there. At least the sun's not roasting you, I guess. Yeah, that's much better. Yeah, keep on hitting down and talking about keep on hitting down. Terrible transition. We're going down on this. That's okay. On this new episode of Terrarium, the so we're mm, how much do you really like it? And so we're watching the new episodes of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. There's one more new episode this season. That's exactly of this podcast here. And so yeah, I really enjoyed this. I did what so Erica goes on a solo mission. She goes on to all these shuttles or these scouting ships, and she ends up going into a wormhole. And Uhura is tasked, or she tasked herself with trying to figure out, all right, is Erica actually alive in the wormhole, and can we figure out how to save her? And that's her boyfriend's sister. So I think I probably played a role in that. Or I don't know, are you her and what's his face a thing? Erica's brother. What's his name? I mean, she didn't mind older him. Son of a nice lady. Yeah. So, yeah, Erica ends up stranded on this moon with this Gordon, as you explained, obviously, and she thought she's alone, but she explores and finds this other Gorn lady that's stuck there, and uh, the Gorn can perfectly understand Erica, it seems, but Erica needs this device. Like, it's not very complicated. It just tells her in the translation if the Gorn agrees or disagrees. Yeah, just send her to the horse glue factory, you know? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, who expect mhm. History, yeah, with that with her brother. I think in Erica, it's not like she doesn't have that as well. I mean, it doesn't perfectly explain it, but we can at least understand, you know? I mean, doesn't 100% justify what happened, but Erica, like, she got her hand melted off and remember the was it the found footage? Oh, yeah. Yeah, just shoot him, you know? There we go. Yeah, and so, eventually, yeah, they do save the day, and, as Justin was referring to, the Star Trek crew send a team to save Erica, and they see the Gorn with her and blast her. So, the Gorn lady, and yeah, Erica's very upset, and I don't like. I know you probably haven't seen the arena from the original series. I decided to watch it, and I remember. I think the last season of Trek in the Future, we had a Gorn episode, and I said I watched it. It was very reminiscent of that, especially with the entity that showed up and was. I preferred the Twink version in the original series. Like I was disappointed. I won't. Well, they ought to. They don't. Otherwise, they're like Bert or Smurf or something. And yeah, um, I really enjoyed this episode. Like, not quite my favorite. My favorite's still the slot who ate its tail, but this was great. This is just going off my ratings. Like, this is definitely my favorite season so far. Um, oh yeah, yeah. I was talking. I was talking to my friend Robert. We watched it together on Google Meet. I'm gonna watch this episode again tonight on my big screen TV. I'm looking forward to that with Kitty. But I we talked about it, and this reminded me. I told him my favorite TV series of all time is the original Twilight Zone, written by Rod Sterling, and this reminded me of the season three, the first episode of that season two, where two people, a man and a lady, who are on two different sides of a conflict meet up, and I mean, the world has gone to nuclear war, and they meet over rubble, and they decide we're not gonna kill each other. Like it's ridiculous at this point, and yeah, this really reminded me of that. I mean, not quite the same thing. It's not like they're in a Fallout type situation. I mean, they're just trying to survive. But yeah, that reminded me of that, and I really enjoyed that aspect of the story as well. And um, yeah, I did like Uhura playing around with the stats to make sure that she could save her friend as well. I did really appreciate that, and yeah, I wonder if like the Robert F. Kennedy Jr. people were like yes, destroy the jabs. Oh man. Uh, so that one's gotta have Puppet Pike, right? And SpongeBob. And then we have to wait for new Star Trek for how much longer? I mean, I know it's all filmed, but yeah, yeah. How's that? Know what I'm looking forward to? I got right here some Dubby. I got the flavor Galaxy Grenade today. Yeah, it's like I remember. I wonder. Let's see. So they give you a little scoop of here to scoop up your Dubby. Just throw it into the drink. Yeah. One word. Bada bada bing. You throw it in your cup, you mix it up. It's doing science. It's because of the cup I have, yeah. Um, I've heard a girl describe it as like a melted slushy, and I do like the Galaxy Grenade flavor. Yeah, it's a watermelon, guava, and lime, and one I saw that I find interesting for like when I got money and next time. I got so much W on me. I haven't been buying, but I think I saw a new flavor, s'mores, on their site. Actually, I got it right here, but I wanted to use a different flavor today. They got options, and they got it's there's more than just caffeine drinks. I don't have it. Oh no, I do have it out here. There's also hydro if you just want electrolytes like a Gatorade or something, but at a better cost, obviously. Dude, the Gopher and not. I almost screwed it up. I said Gopher. I was gonna say Gopher and Tuck, not Gopher Tuck. All right, all right. So I wanted to ask you the question: will there be peace in our time, or at all? Yeah. For me, and I think I'm pretty sure we talked about this before, but might as well again. I don't know if it was this season of Tricking the Future. I don't understand if it's just life's um how when I say life, like I mean that the cellular level up even where there's so much conflict, like animals hungry, they're gonna eat it eat something, like if it's another animal or a plant. I mean, they're alive too. If there's just naturally these conflicts, and if human nation states are just naturally gonna go to war, like I'm not quite sure, but I do like the vision Star Trek gives, where we can mainly work together in this universe. It seems, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe just naturally we're gonna fight. I don't know. What do you think? Is it could we culturally get over humans fighting each other? I mean, what do you think? Yeah, I think part of the issue is capitalism. And yeah, like we were talking about TNA when Elijah Burke kissed that lady. It's unfortunate. You know, I think at the interpersonal level, even if that's the term, like there'll always be like conflicts. Like even in this series, it's not like people don't hate each other or have their spats or whatever. But I think we can. I think we can overcome like war. It's just like I was saying, I think capitalism is a big issue, and people who disagree with that, like, I mean, I'm not gonna deny we're here doing this computer call because of capitalism. I mean, it's got us this far. It's just like it's an old system where we're so much more advanced now. I will say before we go into the comics that there's so much emphasis on trying to grow financial capital when there's more money than there has been ever before. And economics is about getting resources where it's abundant to scarce, and for people to say, don't you can't tax me, or you can't take all my money. Like, I'm sorry, like it, to for our economy to work, that's exactly what it needs to do. And right now, this one is the one we're in, and it's absolutely failing. So I don't know how else to say that. I mean, maybe I could draw a cartoon Gopher and Tuck, and we c- or and maybe Priggy will hire us to put it in the schools. We'll see. Talking about cartoons, we're reading the and conflict. We're reading the new Lower Decks comics, issue 8. Um, and as we talked about last week, these comics have a 2-issue arc. So the last issue, Beckett was telling her mom, "You, Captain Freeman, like you don't know what it likes to be. You don't know what it's like to be lower decks." Complaining in that way, and so Captain Freeman has her flashback, and we're now in the second part of the story where um I think at the end of the last one, I'm trying to remember the comic. Like at the end of the last one, Doctor Pa- Palsky Plelsky be- from the next generation, she becomes the captain just because she's the highest ranking officer on the ship after Freeman's unfortunate modification of the transporter system that would allow her to break the curfew rules to go to the holodeck backfired and sent the rest of the crew to the Romulan ship. So they're all stuck there while the 5 people who were shielded against a potential transporters transporting, like all these people uh have it. And Pawlowski, she's like anyone seen that series, The Next Generation, or the original one, she's like what's his name? Bones. I forget his name. If we watched the motion picture, and you remember when he enters in to replace Doctor Chapel at that this point in the series, as the ship's doctor is like, I hate transporting. So there's characters that don't want to be transported. I did want to talk to you about this. Kitty and I have talked about this, and it. I guess the idea and the dislike for it is when you're transported, the you that gets transported might be killed, and then there's a new you on the end of that transport where you're brought. So that's not like a great like thought or idea. Like if you think about it, I don't know. How do you feel about that? Like when you get like, all right, we're gonna kill you, and then there's gonna be a different you at the end of this transporter. I don't know. How do you feel about that? And yeah, so the 4 ensigns from the lower decks, one of them is Captain Freeman. As we said, this is a flashback, or I guess at this point she's telling Mariner. Badgie did explain that Mariner is listening to Captain Freeman tell a story about this, but the 4 ensigns had a deal where they're messing with the transporter and protected themselves against it, and Dr. Pulowski just always keeps like some sort of thing to keep her from getting transported. um, yeah, so the Romulans have the rest of the crew, and they're given an hour to surrender the ship. And Polsky's like, "You're just gonna have to kill him." And I'm sorry, she's Doctor Polsky, and at this point, Ensign Freeman's like not a big fan of that, and I can understand why. Yeah. really, yeah, really quick. I thought they could have had it there because as Badgie explained, like Mariner is listening, so it's not like I thought like she's not in Captain Freeman's mind, like so she can't like comment. But if Captain Freeman's telling her a story, she should be able to comment. Oh, oh, I misunderstood. See, Badgie threw me off. He's a liar. But that makes more sense for the text not to be there. Yeah. We'll see. Well, I'll see. We have to figure out any of the other comics, but we'll talk about that in a couple minutes. Anyway, yeah. She takes out Doctor Pulowski. They z- they I was gonna say zap. They stun her with the Star Trek weapon, the phasers, and they transport her into a cell. And Captain Freeman, um, the Romulan ships, they're able to cloak themselves. If anyone remembers the season one finale of Strange New Worlds, where Equality of Mercy, um, yeah, they have that ability, and so Captain Freeman decides we need to be able to scan something that's in their bodies. At first, they figure, what about iron? And then, well, there's iron. There's, yeah, and so they come up with cobalt, and just guess that the Romulans are right in front of them. Otherwise, like they would have ever been able to find where their people are and transport them back. And she fools the Romulans into getting everyone to join hand in hand, and she, yeah, 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 and yeah, Ensign Freeman saves the day, and back to reality. Um, yeah, Captain Freeman says, "Beckett, you're right. Like you're just laying off steam, which is." Yeah, I mean, it's lower decks. It's sort of ridiculous. She doesn't reprimand her, and they all go to the holodeck together to go do the thing she wanted to do in the flashback, except it's a little bit different with Captain, or sorry, acting captain, formerly Dr. Polowski, as the mountain's head. You know, it's like it's the right or the simulation's more insane now. I don't quite remember what she said, but it was something to that effect. But yeah, I really enjoyed the comic. Looking forward to the next issue. I really like the cover for the next issue. It's got Tendi swimming in a giant um Ferengi is like Bruce from Jaws. Hell yeah. And we'll see if the text at the bottom of the pages come back. Then we'll know if it's Beckett or not. Or if it doesn't come back, then what's it all? What does it all mean? You know, what is life? Um. Anyway, guys, I wanted to mention. I sort of brought this up earlier. Is um on my website www.joshuajhadley.com. I'm going to be having a sale. Um, I decided I'm gonna get back into streaming and play The Legend of Zelda on stream, and I'll sell the console that I'm streaming with. And I guess like part of this is just to let people know how well it works, and part of it is like I'm letting it go after how many years? I don't even know which one's like my brother's console, my sister's console, the one I bought. Like I can't recall which one's which, but let go of it, but I'm gonna hang on to it, and if people want to buy a Zelda with it, it'll be whatever price. But yeah, um, I've, I don't have a price fixture yet. I think I might go $80. I might go 70 for the console, but just for the console, it'd be more with a game. And I think, actually, I'll put a higher price point on just a console. But if people give me more money for a game, then I think I'll go with that. Make it more convenient for me. You know how it goes. So, yeah. Our last episode was Tuesday, so I did go onto my website and I tried to use my old page for selling things, and it didn't quite fit for what I was doing here. So I did need to put more work into it. So nothing's quite on there yet, but it will all be updated. And if you'd like to catch me streaming, obviously you can follow me on Twitch, but I will also go on to the Gopher and Tech Discord server, and where it says share your content, I'll post on there if you'd like to watch me stream too. You know, I know maybe we'll see. I mean, who knows what could happen? I didn't think I was gonna do a Star Trek podcast, but here we are. True. Yeah, and if you go to my website, there's a Gopher and Tuck tab there too, and one for Top of the World if you ever want to check. No, there's actually no. I changed the Top of the World one to the Star Trek one. No. Yeah, check out my site, and there's news for the city of Kotzebue if you'd like to see that. Anyway, though, talking about games, like I know you play games like Max Payne and Make America Great Again for Steam, and back in 1995. Another game though is Trekking the Unknown, and not lying about it. Uh, yeah, yeah. The thing we're doing is it's like Dungeons and Dragons, but I'm just inputting stuff in the chat GBT. Um, we like Justin says, like typically we seem to get through these in 10 minutes, but this is the last several episodes, and I took the story from one of our pocketbooks from last season's book club. I really enjoyed this, so I decided I'm just gonna steal this narrative and put it in ChatGPT. I do I did realize like when we started doing like, oh, it's Voyager, so it doesn't really make sense of what we were doing before, that we're randomly stuck in a different part of the galaxy and that we can't make it home. Like, but whatever. I mean, so Gopher got the last role back on Tuesday. I was gonna say last week, but back on Tuesday, and so um, yeah, um, I do want to get through this, but to explain really quick, is we have the um, all right, so we're taking on the Arcanians. They are mining resources from Berlin 4 or the planet that's the planet nearby, and it's really messing with the Vermilions. And we're starting a war. Unfortunately, I mean, they probably started before then when they started taking resources. Gopher got the last throw, he got a 7, and so we went into a wormhole. And two Arcanian ships is following us. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to remember. Um, and so the Calliope, that's our ship, and there's the wormholes, the event horizon, but the unstable currents slammed the ship violently. Shields collapsed to 5%. I forgot about that. All the breach ripple across the decks, and the entire panels blow up on the bridge. The Vernian fleet cannot follow. The wormhole begins to destabilize violently, threatening to collapse and cut them off. Hey, that's just like Strange New Worlds, sort of. Actually, I didn't think about that. That's pretty cool. The Arcadians, two of their warships are pulled in with you. The dogfight now continues inside the twisting chaos of the wormhole. Okay, so let's see. Um, actually, I did two in a row. How about you? Do you have your die ready? All right, so we could do an all-out brawl in the wormhole, and that would require tactics. Or two, harness the wormhole's distortions, which would need an engineering buff. Three, call the Vermilions, and that'd be a command roll. Or four, sacrifice the Calliope secondary systems, and that's another engineering needed buff. Or whatever else you want to do. I know you got engineering. I'd have to scroll up to see. Harness the wormhole's distortions. Turn the W field madness into a wormhole slingshot, or sacrifice the Calliope secondary systems. Just send a warp core or shuttle bay to stabilize your own ride and throw the Arcanians into chaos. We sort of saw that in the lower decks comics one time, and I remember it made the situation worse in that issue. But hey, it depends on the roll of the die, right? All right. Yeah. So I just type in. Yeah, let's see. Gopher rolls 19. And so, all right. So what you got +2 engineering. So that wasn't your top one, but yeah, just actually quite enough because the target difficulty was 20. You won blackjack. All right. Right, seeing the slingshot symphony, the Calliope rattles inside the wormhole, Arcanian disruptor fire blazing through twisted space-time. Josephus peoples the size of the moon from Dubby, slams his paws against the engineering console. Yeah, if I redirect the gravic meter shear vectors into our deflector matrix, we can sling those clowns straight into next Tuesday, or maybe their grandma's Tuesday. Either way, hold on to your eyeliner. Lucien grips the captain's chair, calm as ever in the chaos, cloak swaying like a curtain on an opera stage. Do it, darling. If the universe insists on chaos, let us conduct it. All right. Roll 21, critical success. The Calliope's deflector disc surges, glowing pink gold from residue W fueled. Sorry, jury rigging. That is funny. Wormhole distortions wrap around the ship, twisting space time like a whip. The two Arcanian warships are caught in the gravimetric eddies. Their captain roars in rage as their ships spin helplessly, dragged deeper into the anomaly. One is spat into uncharted space, sensors showing it's flung light years away. Oh, wow. The other is torn apart by the wormhole's sheer forces, threaded into crimson sparks. The Calliope emerges from the anomaly battered but alive. The brilliant sheer echoes over comms as their resistance strikes crippled the remaining mining rigs. All right, we did it. So, Captain's log. We came seeking a shortcut home, instead found a sun in chains. Just a comment for me, like, yeah, it doesn't make sense because I took a Voyager story. Like, just that narrative hasn't existed before. Alright, and so the captain saying, "A people in despair and warlords flatten on a stolen fire. Thanks to Valenian's courage and one W fueled miracle, the Arcanians are undone. The wormhole has collapsed, leaving us no closer to home. But today, the murdered son lives a little longer, and that too is victory." Go Cephas. Don't forget to say they get 10% off with the promo code Gopher. Lucian computer login. The captain cut Josephus off on the ad. We did it. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So saved our rear end. I really enjoyed that. Um next, or I guess it doesn't matter if we have like a nonsense story we narrative we added. Yeah, suddenly we're just in Voyager now trying to find our way back home. So yeah, Captain Lucian cut Josephus off there talking about W, but yeah, save 10% off going to w.gg and putting the promo code Gopher Tuck. Anyway, not Gopher and Tuck, which is a YouTube channel, right? And, Twitch right here. Okay. Mm. Mm. Hell yeah. I could good. I mean, it was random. Yeah, 5,000. Oh. I remember there was a lot of, like, going down slopes, um, maybe you can finally finish back in 1995. One one year, I just wrapped myself in toilet paper to be a mummy. Well, there we go, and, one thing I wanted to talk about is, the need for cooperation. I mean, as much as I what? Yeah, absolutely. Um, yeah, you know, I mean, obviously, that was a big theme, cooperation in begi the episode in Strange New Worlds. You know, obviously, Erica works with the Gorn to accomplish something. Um, yeah, it does, we do there's times where we try to do stuff alone where obviously it's better to do with people. I think a lot of the time working, some people are like, oh, I could just do this thing. I don't need help. Like, I'm a strong dude, right? Or whatever. Or be embarrassing to ask help, I guess. But yeah, it's definitely needed. And, you know, I've, I, you know, people are happy about a lot of these events that I put on, even the chess streams. And I'm grateful that I have you. I had Christina Nelson help me with Earth Day. Northwest Arctic takes action in the city of Kotzebue for Labor Day, and Manila, the city again for that walkability event that we had in June that we talked about on this show. Um, yeah, I wouldn't have been able to make that happen, be able to make all that happen on my own. Um, and I do appreciate all the people who um helped me to make those things happen. Yeah, and I think for you, like obviously there wouldn't be a Gopher. It wouldn't be Gopher and Tuck without Tuck. Like it has to be helpful to have some be able to rely on someone to do a project together. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I mean, I guess like you could have done it as a pet project, but these bigger streamers, it's not like they go through their content and edit everything themselves. Like, like you put so much work into that, but to like if it were to be like a bigger business, like ultimately, like it'd be impossible for you to just do it on your own, or even me. I mean, for us, there's sort of like a bridge there. I don't know. Like, I enjoy doing the Star Trek show, but I don't know if I'll ever be like a online personality or something. I mean, I really enjoy being a statesman, but that's what I like doing. But with that, like these events, I needed people to help me, and it definitely, if I would to do a campaign beyond just a city, I need someone like a campaign manager, someone to do media, like um with a big operation, like yeah, there's no one person that makes it all happen. It's sort of frustrating for me when people try to do this great man theory sort of thing and like, oh, President Trump made it all happen. I mean, I guess for that level, sure, but um, that's awesome. Yeah, I feel like yeah, some people just don't appreciate that, and I think that's a definitely a flaw in capitalism right now, where um in these standard limited companies, you like one person owns it or a family or whatever. Like they just sort of see workers as human replaceable tools, and um I don't think that's doesn't really fit into anyone's meaning making story, but at that level, I mean, definitely not mine. And I don't appreciate that a lot of these companies are just little monarchies. Like you just sort of are there and you hope for the omnipotence of the boss, but you know that's we need each other. We need to include opposites, and yeah, I definitely need someone else to do the initial investment, and because I don't have financial capital or whatever, like I got plenty of time. And that's what you ultimately are selling. one of the things really when you take a job and that's what you get paid for. You get 20 bucks an hour or something. Um, but yeah, the people who own a business, they need the workers too. That's just reality. You're not really running a business if you're doing all the work. You're just you're just like self-employed. But yeah, people like I've listened to people watch older media, and was a greater sense of responsibility and whatnot by people who ran businesses back in the 50s, and that's something that's gone away now, for whatever reason. Like, I don't know if it's neoliberalism or if it was Ronald Reagan. I don't know. But yeah, unfortunately, like, yeah, as I said, right now, if you're in one of these companies, yeah, you could easily be replaced, and employees can be just seen as a liability rather than an asset, unfortunately. Um, and yeah, I don't think it's quite working, which is why we're in the situation we're in right now where Trump's the president. Like, something's wrong, but people didn't want to go continue on the path of what the neoliberals were offering us, so they said, "All right, we're gonna go the, the guy who's gonna ruin the economy." Yeah, uh, unfortunately, like people wanted an alternative, and that's the only one they really got offered. Of course, I mean, they could have voted for Jill Stein or whoever the Libertarians. Yeah, yeah, at least it's different. Anyway, I really enjoyed um this week's episode of Strange New Worlds, and as we said, we have one more episode of Strange New Worlds, but two, no, three more of them. Check in the future. Three. So yeah, yeah. So yeah. So next week we'll put a poll. All right. So how do you want to do this really quick? Let's decide here. So next in the original, we watched the motion picture. So we could do the Wrath of Khan, Generations, Star Trek, and Section 31. Like, do it like that, or do you want to do a poll, or do you want to do different movies? Like, it's been a long time for me too. Okay, yeah. So check out Gopher's Discord. This it's in the link below. Go flip a coin. All right, guys. Live long and prosper. Thanks for joining us, and have a great rest of your week.